welcome to the Pretend Podcast
with Gavin and Craig.
How you doing, guys? I hope you're ready for some true deep hurting pain tonight.
It is a wonderful theme called The Worst Of.
The Worst Of. So early in our podcast history, but we figured this would be a good time to torture each other with our selections for this episode. And coincidentally, we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day, which, in my opinion, might be the worst holiday ever.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
Do you have a least favorite holiday?
I mean, I hate Christmas.
Yeah.
I really hate Christmas, but that's like...
As far as the generic sub-tier...
deep-rooted sort of, family present commercialism issues. I mean, just as far as...
We're probably not going to bring down Christmas with this podcast.
Exactly.
But we could take down...
We could just... we could at least dent St. Patrick's Day real good.
Yeah. So you're there with me on that one. I think it's kind of like...
I got laid off on Valentine's Day once, so I'm not fond of that day.
Yeah, that was a pretty dumb one, too.
Yeah, so, love.
If it takes that day to make you be like, yo, baby, I love you, then it's probably not real. And if it takes St. Patrick's Day for you to get out to a goddamn
and
bar
be
Irish and take a beer, and then, so we have... selections we made just to dive right in because I think we're going to need every minute of this because it's
there's going to be reaction aplenty.
It's so much easier to talk about stuff you hate. Isn't that a sad truth of humanity, though?
It's so much easier to love things you hate, not just talk about them. I love how much I hate some of these things.
Yeah. So we tried to do our best to torture each other, but at the same time, not pick like super obvious things. Hopefully, I think we kind of had some theory and logic behind our choices for each other, and with the open mind of maybe the thing I chose for you would turn out to be something you're like, well, you know what, that's a pretty fucking good.
I mean, having said that, I did feel bad when I hit send on the email. It's like it felt a little bit bad about assigning you, but you were free to not do it.
We had veto power.
It's voluntary, so.
And likewise, I was like, maybe this is taking it up. Maybe he thought I was too offended. Like I was doing it. Like if you're playing the punching game or something, and somebody hits a little too hard back or something. Well, I guess as far as the table of contents for tonight, what do we have on the table? Let's see. We got some music again. We like to stick to some albums, and
we got some albums.
Yeah, and so I handed off one that Craig and I have talked about many times in the past. So it was almost a softball in a sense, but I knew that there was reasons behind why we were both affected by this album. And that's 1996 Star Turtle by Connick Jr.
Oh, yes.
And
a concept album.
A concept album, indeed. If anyone's familiar with the musical career of Connick Jr., I think you would probably agree that it was at least a weird album.
Yeah, a bit of a departure at best.
So,
and, indicative of a really serious drug problem.
Yeah,
perhaps.
something, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
And so I signed that for Craig. And Craig, wow, just hit hard back. Just the initial uppercut of David Hasselhoff's 1993 album. Do you remember the name?
I'm going to guess it's something to do with You or Love.
Yeah. You Are Everything.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. I just
actually kind of figure it out. You're sending me the link of the album, and you're like, this one? I'm like, is it that one? It was all the same shit.
Oh, it's all.
So it probably could be interchangeable with a lot of Hasselhoff albums.
I just had a very vivid memory of the jacket. I had it on tape.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it from Sam Goodies or something out of the bargain bin as a joke in 1990, whatever. And I just all that Hassel hair just barfing out of it. He's wearing a sort of a silk suit
almost
with no shirt.
Yeah, suit jacket, no shirt.
His legs
almost
are really
Hammer looking thing going on. I meant to look up what year the Hammer came out. It was probably around then. So Please Don't Hurt Him Hammer was probably around then. But so any Hasselhoff is gonna be dangerous. But we're looking at that full album. And then we went to some video and visual media where, what did I send to you?
VH1 special behind the scenes with Chris Gaines. The life and times of Chris Gaines as told by Garth Brooks.
Yes.
And man.
A burrito of awesome.
It is something else.
So yeah, and Craig threw my way the beloved movie from 2005, probably our latest contribution. Bewitched, the motion picture remake reboot of Bewitched as a film starring Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell.
God, it is like as close to getting punched in the dick as your eyeballs.
There's a lot going on, and not a lot going on in that movie. It's one of those.
I may have an irrational hatred of it. I still maintain it's terrible. Right, it's definitely the worst movie ever.
We will let the therapy begin shortly. But in comparison of these fine artifacts that we have assigned each other, we decided no better way to wash down the hatred than with some of our most disgusting beers we could find for each other. Locally and maybe not locally. Yeah, definitely not locally.
There's just stuff from all over the place.
So we got some terrible beers that we will recap at the end of this episode, but we will be drinking them as we speak. So if you hear us going or maybe even vomiting,
gagging, any sort of horrible reaction could happen. Yeah,
there's a lot of weird fruits in the mix, so there could be a vomit break in the middle of this.
This is bad.
But so let's dive in. Oh, maybe real quick, and I don't know if this will make the final cut, but any that didn't make the cut that you thought about assigning?
Oh, things that I thought about assigning. Oh man, let's see. I was very much torn. Like I wanted to sort of like maybe do some stuff that's bad but good.
Yeah,
like just stuff that is bad that I love. Like there's this Peter Jackson horror movie called Dead Alive.
Oh yeah, I love that movie with the lawnmowers.
Yeah, and the rat puppet and stuff. It's terrible, but it's great.
It's probably one of the best zombie movies. Maybe parts of it are great.
Parts of it are great, man.
So absurd,
the rat monkey. Oh, I love that movie. It's just great, but it's bad.
Yeah,
and a lot of stuff like that where I decided that the spirit of the thing was really truly
just
horrible stuff
bad for whatever reason, and we'll define why the reason maybe.
And maybe you'll or I will disagree. Perhaps I really love Aloha Traveler Pineapple Shandy.
I'm still working through the first one. Like this Tartastic is rough.
It's tastic.
I love lemons. But I thought about definitely was conflicted about the same idea of funny, bad, and stuff like that. There was even The Room. I feel like we've watched that together, right?
We did. Yeah, the first time I ever saw it was over here.
Tommy Wiseau movie there, and it's just fucking bad. So I highly recommend it for everybody. But it's so funny that it's not even bad. So many of those in a Mystery Science Theater kind of way that you can't even. And then I thought about full-on torture of a few of my most hated actual movies. Ooh. And they're just so long. I was just like, man, I can't put him through this.
Oh, God. I did consider assigning you Gone with the Wind, which I hate.
Oh, really? I love that movie.
Oh, God, Gavin, I hate it. The one time I tried to watch it, it would not end. I would fall asleep. I'd wake back up. It would still be on.
Yeah,
the fucking house was still on fire.
The war is still going, man.
It was a terrible experience. I'm glad that you love it. But that is exactly the sort of difference that could make this a surprising addition to the podcast.
A Tree of Life. Do you remember that movie by any chance? Terrence Malick, I believe his name is. People love his movies, but like Thin Red Line, the World War II movie, and I think it was World War II. Yeah, and but Tree of Life, good God, worst fucking movie I've ever seen. It's so bad, so long, and it's just and it's visually beautiful. It's just no point. They'll just film a flower in the wind for a good minute and a half. And then just it literally starts with the creation of the planet and dinosaurs walking around. God. And then it ends up with a family in the 50s, and then they die and they're all walking around on the beach. And it's you really just kind of want the whole world to die by the end of the movie. But it's there's no way I can put him through this fucking epic journey of hell. But anyway, let's focus because we're going to need every minute we can on these artifacts that we did assign. And you said music maybe would be the best avenue to start.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah, do you want to kick it off with Star Turtle, Harry Connick Jr.?
I am aware of Star Turtle from back when Star Turtle. Matter of fact,
Star Turtle came out. Its release. Yeah,
I might have gone to a concert, a Harry Connick Jr. concert at the Blockbuster Pavilion in Charlotte, North Carolina, at or around that time. He definitely performed a few of the songs. He came out with an album maybe slightly after called She or something. That was
before it. Yeah, because that was his first not big band or jazz one. So it was his first dabble into pop and funk or whatever the fuck.
And clearly that drove him crazy temporarily because he thought he could do anything. Star Turtle.
It, kind of worked. People let him slide by and then...
Yeah. And it's like... It's just drug-induced in its weirdness. Would you hand me that... Otravez.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, and then worth noting, because would you consider yourself a Harry fan going into that? Because
I definitely would have. Yeah, I think I've mentioned here before, I did not grow up in a house where my folks listened to a lot of music. There's a whole lot of music. So the thing, when I really started listening to music and seeing music live and stuff, it was about the time I started college. And I just knew a guy who was like, this Harry Connick Jr. guy is cool. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
He's new but old.
Yeah, so I've definitely seen... Gavin's drinking trash juice beer right now. I've definitely seen him several times.
Yeah, I've only seen him once.
I think
it was for Red Light, Blue Light, which was
still a good album.
Yeah, we were big on him. My brother got really into fucking I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. What spawned it really, but he got real into big band music and shit, when it was cool to ballroom dance again or whatever the fuck. So it was just early '90s, maybe even late '80s, barely, But yeah, he got into all those early ones, the When Harry Met Sally soundtrack and shit, you know. And it was all cool. I wasn't diehard fan or anything, but my brother was all into dressing like him and shit. And it was it's cool to comb your hair like Morrissey. It is kind of Morrissey-esque, so it worked, you know, wearing suits around the house and shit. Yeah.
So you don't ever leave the house.
Yeah, he would always look good, but we'd just be hanging out wearing a fucking suit. He's like, hey, man. It's little Sinatra. But yeah, we loved it. We were all you know.
Red Light, Blue Light was a good album, and then She came along not long after. And it was, I think, somewhat commercially successful. And clearly gave Harry Connick Jr. or his team or people at the record label or some combination of those things, the thought that, we can clearly do anything.
Yeah.
So, how do you pitch? Okay, for those who don't know, it is a concept album, and it does sort of set up a narrative. And it's not I think in our last episode you listened to Diamond Dogs, which is sort of a concept album based on George Orwell's 1984, and Bowie started writing it, I think, as sort of a soundtrack or some songs for a musical based on that. It didn't work out. That, to me, makes sense as a concept album, and David Bowie making a concept album makes sense. They're nothing but concept albums. But Harry Connick Jr. Did sort of big band and jazzy type stuff. He's got an album when he's 11 years old, and kind of comes forward. And then he did a not really actually good pop rockish.
Was it called She? Or
it was
that
called.
The single
I think the album was called She.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't listened to it in years and years and years, but I don't believe it was good.
Nah.
And then he was like, I know what I should do.
I should get fucking weird.
I should just get fucking weird. And what's going to be, it's going to be me. I'm going to play all the instruments. I don't know if that part's true.
Yeah, at least some of it.
I'm going to write the songs, and then there'll be interludes where I'm talking to a visitor from outer space called Star Turtle. And Star Turtle will come down and be like, explain this to me, Harry. What is music? What is music?
And that's, I mean...
And then it'll just go into...
Why that concept?
They're in New Orleans, and
And it's, I guess like the little I tried to research it even recently was like that they're going to like a tour of different types of like New Orleans music and stuff. But I mean, it's like we don't need the fucking narration of a space turtle to take us there. Like, what made that the...
And like, it's not even like it's a good story that they're telling or well done. It's
or like easy to follow. You know?
It's like listening to or like watching a really, really early Doctor Who TV show. Like, it's just terrible. You know, he's like at the end. I think Star Turtle like flies away. He's like,
yeah, there's no like words of wisdom or vagueness. It's like just literally him kind of babbling and like, and voiced by Harry. Like,
yes,
like I wasn't quite
like
sure
all
on
voice
that.
modulated
like,
or something.
Like I mean, what a joy that must have been to produce. Like some of these
he's
people.
He's like, no, it's not quite right. There's not enough bass.
He's like in like a shell in the studio, like in character, like wearing a fucking green turtleneck.
And I have to believe taking a massive amount of some sort of drugs.
I mean, he never seemed like the fully drug kind of dude, but I don't know.
There's got to be like, some explanation. Like he was somehow crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and other people around him were like, well, he made money on the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, kind of credit to trying.
And the songs are not good.
No, he's trying something different. And that was always kind of one of my like. We have many musical discussions with bands, and like, is it better to try something that you haven't done a billion times? Because even, you know, if he just did another big band album or something, it'd be kind of like, yeah, you know, it's cool, but maybe it wouldn't be as good as the other one. So I mean, definitely points for fucking trying, but sometimes, you know, like, and that's what the joke we made at the time was like, if I wanted to listen to like this funky weird shit, I wouldn't be listening to Harry Connick. We just want to hear big band or some, you know, fucking nice love songs or something at least jazzy and cool and good piano playing and stuff. Not you talking to a damn turtle for an hour.
It's fucking weird. It's like, yeah, so there's like, and it's not like short, like the Star Turtle track listings. The first one is almost 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And then, like, the songs are not good.
Yeah.
How do y'all know?
Yeah. Even when it does recover and do, like, something that sounds like, you know, New Orleans jazzy or, you know, fucking Zydeco or whatever the songs dabble in, it's like, yeah, they're not good. There's Hear Me in Harmony, I think was the big single. And that just kind of sounded like it could have been on the shittier album that came out right before it, where it wasn't really just like a bad Prince song or something.
And then by the end, like, you get to one called City Beneath the Sea that I remember, like, consciously thinking halfway through the song, like, what in the fuck is this? It's like
Under the Sea.
Yeah.
It's like a little mermaid.
And then Star Trek like,
see you later. Oh, I hope not, man. This shit is getting weird.
That's right. How you doing, Star Turtle?
Strange thing is, so maybe some listeners will disagree with us. It wasn't really seem like it was that frowned upon. Everyone was like, his most ambitious work. Like, all these reviews I read of it, and they're like, definitely a departure from his regular work. But, like, nobody's really like, hey, what the fuck was that? Why are you talking to a turtle, man? That's not cool.
Maybe Harry Connick was always just so fringe and like so like amazing that he was ever popular at all. That you're just kind of like, people are just kind of willing to be like, yeah, I'll roll with it. It's fine.
Yeah, and he's such a likable, fun
I'm sure he's
dude,
a great gentleman.
I guess.
And
I mean, it's like, I mean, the fact that he had like a daytime talk show that I think has already gotten canceled.
Probably.
I'm seeing less and less commercials.
He's no Ellen.
No, but I mean, he's always been like, with even the movies he's done and shit, like, totally willing to just be like, fuck it, I'll give it a shot, man. You know,
it's
just like,
hope floats.
Yeah, hope floats.
So does shit.
Little Man Tate and fucking Independence
Day, he got blowed up.
A Copycat, you ever see that?
Oh
one?
Yeah, with Sigourney
like
Weaver,
the serial killer.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not a man afraid to take risks. So he's confident.
I mean, you know, it's working for him.
Yeah, but I really felt like the takeaway I felt and well, a couple that matches up with many of the things on our list was like the length of it, and I like 15 tracks on this thing.
It's insane.
And
like
it's
it won't
like,
stop.
None of them are short little interludes or anything. Like you said, the Star Turtle tracks where the turtle's actually talking to him are like long. They're not like, hey Harry, show me some good times. You know, it's like,
well, let me tell you, Star Turtle, this one's called Zydeco.
Yeah, like,
no,
just got
they
to
have
the
conversations.
He's like, why is the universe here, Harry? Well, but yeah, I didn't feel like the album recovers from the fucking first track. I mean, how can you ever dive into anything after that? That's gonna be, it could be fucking Sgt. Pepper, but if you put that first conversation track with the turtle on the album, there's like no way it's gonna be a good album.
If you look at the album, like just to look at the album, and I think I kind of vaguely remember this as sort of a Harry Connick Jr. maybe not fan, but follower-ish at the time. Like, it's just Harry Connick Jr.'s laying on some grass and there's a turtle with a star. It's called Star Turtle. And you would just think, okay, it's called Star Turtle for some reason. Whatever.
Like one dumb song maybe about a turtle.
Or whatever. And it's just, you know, it's just like
no, every song is about this turtle.
Every song. And like there's nothing to set you up for the expectation. Oh, this is a story. We're going on an adventure.
This is
But even if you remove all that stuff, like, and even in the context of Harry Connick Jr. albums, you know, like, I just, like, my takeaway, the most memorable thing that I come away with, other than the Star Turtle stuff, is that, like, every song is just really repetitive. Like, it's just like, Booze Hound, and they'll go, Booze Hound. It's just like over and over. Like, each song could just be 1 minute, and you could get it done, be done with it.
Yeah, not very memorable either. When you repeat something that much, it's like, it should at least stick in your head, and I'm just like, what? Moving on. And I'm not sure I ever really bounced back as a even semi-Harry fan. Like, I've heard stuff since that album that was like cool, you know, but it always was like, I don't know if I
did like a romance album for his wife. That I can't remember the name of. He had a Christmas album where he's like in a funny sweater.
Christmas album, I think it was before. I think
was it really?
Yeah, because I was still on board for the Christmas album, and I was like, that's a good Christmas. Right,
that's good. I like Christmas albums. I like Christmas albums.
Not Christmas.
Not Christmas. Albums are great. Listen to them on St. Patrick's Day.
Harry in a red sweater, sign me up. But if he starts talking about that fucking turtle,
that's right. Merry Christmas.
I'm here, ready to ruin Christmas too. Oh no, Star Turtle. But anyway, more theatrics to come. Should we move on to the Hoff?
Yes.
All right. Well, I
assigned to Gavin.
The Hoff. So, just based on what you already said, you willingly bought this album?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What inspired that?
I don't remember. I just remember it was the Sam Goodies or whatever, like someplace at a mall, and I just looked down, and I know who David Hasselhoff is because I grew up in the 80s, and I loved Knight Rider. Yeah. But it had been long enough that I knew how ridiculous that show was, because I was in college when I bought it. Yeah. So I had seen...
you kind of bought it like, what the fuck? Or...
Yeah, I bought it just being... and at that time, like, it had been long, even, you know, pre-internet, you had already heard... He's huge in Austria.
Or Germany.
In Germany. Like 1 in 3 German households owns a Hasselhoff. And I just thought, this is just so fucking weird. Like, it can't be good. And so I bought this, the cassette tape, and he's on the cover. I remember him being on the cover with his finger to his lips going like, shh.
There's a huge photo. Like, I feel like the tape, if you unraveled it would be like just tons of photos.
Yeah, and he's just got like freaking hassle hair, bubbling up, no shirt.
Who wears a suit jacket with no shirt on?
Yeah, what is that?
Ever
can you imagine there's like a silky
90s?
Lining in there? You're gonna get all sweaty. It's disgusting.
Shoulder pad.
And he's like standing really wide-legged, like his balls have been bruised.
Probably after this album somehow.
But I just remember thinking, I've got to get this, and we're gonna listen to it, because at that time we were real big. I was living in a house that was not my parents' or a dormitory on campus for the first time, and we just did a whole lot of like listening to music and drinking and
Yeah.
like melting M&Ms on a kerosene heater and burning ourselves and just dumb shit. And I just thought, well, this is clearly going to go over well. And like we couldn't listen to the whole thing. So it became like this challenge. Like that tape got passed around from person to person to person to person. Like, you cannot listen to this entire thing. The album, A, it won't end, and B, it's the worst music ever. and like I've never listened to it all the way through, and just recently tried again and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So that's the story of the
I couldn't
Hassel
do it either.
album.
I was like, I'll do it. Listen, I was just like, I got,
because everybody's like,
how
I could listen to anything once. Nope, you can't.
And it's not like the songs are particularly long. I mean, there are a ton of them on there, but
they're excruciating.
It's like dog minutes somehow. Like every 3-minute song feels like it's like 16 minutes long.
Like somebody twisting a fork in your throat.
But it is truly bad, and along those lines of the timeline and stuff too. And it's funny because I took German in high school in like 8th grade, and then I hung in there through like an early part of it. So it was around 92. This album came out in 93. So it was around this time period this fucking album came out. And I remember like that was something my German teacher kept going out of the way of saying, like you're saying, like I guess that was pretty commonly spread.
Like, I don't know if it was ever true.
Yeah, she just kept saying like, David Hasselhoff is huge in Germany. Or else just be like, ha ha ha, yeah, right. And like, no way. And that kind of thing. But like, I was like, I kind of dug Knight Rider, but I didn't really give a shit. But then even like looking up Baywatch was even like kind of in its peak around this time.
Oh,
so he was
huge.
like
Biggest
cranking
show in
out
the world.
albums. Yeah, and like apparently I guess Baywatch was 89 to like 2001.
Yeah,
so,
not long enough.
Yeah, so 93 is probably
all
around when it was
entertainment.
like really like had this first couple seasons where people were like, what? But then we're like, yeah, Baywatch. And there's a lot of things like just totally it feels 1993, this album when you put it on. That was like the first initial reaction was just like all these tones. Like people make fun of like 80s production musically, but like early 90s, it was like this very like electronic keyboard, it's called, like the electronic keyboard sound. And I have a digital piano that like has the exact same sound. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Doogie Howser. Remember at the end when he would do like the Dear Diary, and it's like doo, 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 doo. Like every fucking song on this has that like da, 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 da. And it's just like it's so like almost like Lion King, but not without even the talent of Elton John. Yeah, it's like all these songs sound like bad Lion King B-sides almost. But yeah, it was so weird, and I wanted to like just do like track by track even, but I knew that would take too long. But I was just like, each song I just jot down like a little note. I was like,
they're offensively bad.
Yeah, and it was weird because they're like super fucking cliche. Like that was my main takeaway, was like just lyrically like how but it was like no shame in any of it. Like he's selling this shit.
Just straight up.
It was like he's barreling into these like kid rhymes, like everything's just like when it rains I feel the pain and I'm going insane, and like everything's just like, oh my god. Like as a songwriter, I like that I'm totally at this point willing to embrace the fact that when I write an album or recordings, like max 8 people are gonna hear it, and even when I'm fucking writing a song, I'll like come across a rhyme and I'm like, I can't do it. Those 8 people would be so disappointed.
Oh my
but
god!
Fucking Hasselhoff, the whole country of Germany's like got his back.
Oh my god!
And he didn't shame away at all. And like so many of these songs, it was like Hot Shot City without even like telling you what the song is. That pretty much tells you Hot Shot City on a Saturday night. And like it's like kind of like bad Huey Lewis I put down, but like mostly like bad Neil Diamond almost. It's almost like, which is weird to say like bad connection. Neil Diamond, but because a lot of Neil Diamond's pretty bad. But then he's trying to be like, and it's almost like too, I felt like if it would probably fare better if it was like Christian rock almost, Because then at least you just think, oh, well, it's Christian rock. But, like, he's trying to be, like, sexy and, like, dangerous and shit. He's, like, revving up motorcycles on songs and, like...
There's, like, a weird one where it's, like, his Elvis Presley in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Sort of like, baby, your mama done died.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be a... Betty, I wish mama was here.
Oh, yeah, that's the one later. It's like a duet with, like, a little girl about the dead mama. Yeah, like, I'd pretty much just give it up by that point. Yeah. But it's, like, track 11, which, again, 15 tracks.
That's the one. That's the one I came, like, oh my God. I tried to re-listen to it on YouTube, you know, in preparation for this, and because I felt bad for assigning to, and I just gave up. Like, I cleaned the house. The songs were still going, and we weren't halfway through the album. Yeah. And I was like, I'm just going to the grocery store and buying some beer. And I came back, and that song was on, so it really caught my attention. But it is epically horrible. It is like someone who their only connection to music is like greeting cards.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Like if you had like a stack of greeting cards and you just...
maybe the worst Reba McEntire song ever. Like if that's the two touchable stones they had.
I meant to look up because there's another one that has a duet, and I wanted to see who the fuck the other star was. But
probably Lita Ford.
Yeah, like somebody. But I hope I don't know the name of him. But like I almost was curious. Like, what if this was like some like real singer? Because there's another one. Yeah, I think that's where I stopped making my notes. Yeah, Star Looks Down.
Where it just hurts you.
Daddy's Here Tonight.
Yeah,
that kind of weird shit.
And then like from a certain perspective, just like, this is weird. Pedophile?
And that's what was weird too, because like, and I kind of blame the 90s because it was such a weird bracket in that early 90s, even like early 90s to 95-ish. Like for some reason, maybe because of CDs and you could put more on it. Everybody was like common. You had to have 15 songs in the album. Like everybody had 15 fucking songs. Like way too many. Like the fact that I'm listening to this complete shit Hasselhoff, and like I could tell which were like the should have been B-sides. You know, like I had to double check. I was like, is this like a deluxe edition reissue? Because it really felt.
I sure hope there has been.
Because like there's the fucking dumbass. Your Mama's Dead song, and I'm here to comfort you, little girl.
I might be your dad, or I might not.
Yeah, and it was like
you don't know.
And then there's like a Caribbean song.
Oh my God!
And it was just like Caribbean
party with the hut on the sand.
It's like
it was terrible.
It made like Dancing on the Ceiling sound cool. It sounded like a shitty Jimmy Buffett song. Like it's like you managed to take a whole album of shitty Neil Diamond, shitty Jimmy Buffett, shitty Huey Lewis. That was kind of like what I took away from it. It was just. But the weird part too is that he's fucking selling it so hard. Like he's singing his ass off too. Like you're like
seriously
you hear certain things. It wasn't technically. I mean, he's hitting the pitches and shit. This is pre-auto tune and stuff. I mean, he's sweating it up in the fucking. I'm sure there's so much cocaine in that. That was the other vision. I just kept laughing, listening to it. I was like, man, I wonder, like, what the fuck? Like, was it like Boogie Nights where they're just all like, yeah, like listening to this, and everyone's just like so coked out of their head that like, literally, because I'm struggling to listen to this once. Imagine if somebody you had to mix this and edit it.
Just like, oh God.
Like, yeah, it sounds great because it's all like overproduced as shit. There's like black choirs and stuff on every song, like 15 synth tracks, and it's like, man, people worked on this.
Oh yeah, there is a depth of sound. It does not lack for that.
I hope they had like a German Kickstarter back then, or somebody was fucking appreciating it, because whenever they were paying that intern, Jesus Christ, that was so yeah, so much drugs, so much coke probably had to be involved. But then like I wonder too if he just came back because he was so high when he recorded it, and they played. He's like, "Well, that's shit, whatever." And he just like got in his fucking Knight Rider car and drove to the set on Baywatch and started eating cheeseburgers and drank a giant bottle of vodka.
You know, I like bitches
and whiskey.
That's right. That's all I care about. I'll do anything. I don't care.
So, yeah, it definitely made that whole drunk burger video make a lot more sense.
I will say, like, it will make Star Turtle seem like passable.
Yeah.
Like, Star Turtle's not really a good listen, and it's too long, and it's fucking weird. But I listened to the two, like, in succession because I was doing my homework and doing my review. And, yeah, like, I started thinking, you know, like, this is making me kind of wish Star Turtle was still on.
Oh man, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't even know where to go. I mean, I think he's still cranking it out. Like, I think he had so many fucking albums. The fact that we had to like try to narrow it down, like which one this was.
He's got one album called Night Rocker.
Yeah,
where he's like standing on top of a car with a guitar.
Yeah,
and like
that's how I was thinking. It has to be this one, and I was like, no, that came out last year.
Yeah. Oh man, he looks good.
Nothing's stopping this guy.
He just won't age.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but check it out, people. Go find it on YouTube. We'll put up links for all this stuff so you can partake in the torture.
Send us a message through some electronic media and tell us. You know, which is the best?
Star Turtle versus the Hoff.
Who wins?
So, should we move on to the visual tortures?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's look at this grainy video VHS footage that's only occasionally found on YouTube now. Chris Gaines. The story of Chris Gaines
as told by VH1 and Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks. Yes. I just I knew of Chris Gaines, but I have never
delved that deep into it.
No, I've never I know what I know about Garth Brooks. Wait, no, that's not Garth Brooks. Okay, Achy Breaky Heart is Billy Ray Cyrus. Yeah. Garth Brooks is Friends in Low Places.
Yeah.
That song I know of.
And apparently billions of other hits. For a while, maybe even the most popular, widely sold. I think he had Beatles records and
he was certainly the puffiest.
Yeah, I mean he was big.
Yeah.
He was a big star.
He's a big guy. With large
fat jokes, there they go.
That's right. We're classy. So I know who he is, and I know the one super giant hit. And pissing up a rope. Yes. I think it's a Ween song.
That was Ween. Should have been a good.
Pretty sure he covered it.
Lots of fucking hits. We'll just say he was in a position where he could make something like this happen.
He could do it in another concept album.
Yeah, kind of in the vein of Star Turtle.
Almost always a mistake, I think. But it's just you watch it, and it is a VH1 special. There is no sort of telltale wink wink. Yeah. This is a joke. It's not a mockumentary. Yeah. And if it's supposed to be, it's not funny. People did call it
that, but it's like a mockumentary that isn't funny.
Right.
It's definitely not trying to be funny.
They missed all the best jokes. Yeah. If it is.
It's not like Spinal Tap. It's like The Room and it's Spinal Tap, where it's not trying to be funny.
And it has an accompanying album that they had intentions to sell. And the music itself is bad. He's not. There's a reason Garth Brooks is a country singer, and it's because, as much as he does any music well, that's what he does well. He's not a rock and roll kind of a dude.
But strangely, to jump in real quick, and something I didn't say about Star Turtle, fucking gold. The album went gold.
Star Turtle?
Star Turtle went gold. It was a fucking decent enough hit to go gold. And the Chris Gaines album that went with this bullshit fucking sold 2 million copies sold, went gold. The main single went to number 2 on the pop charts, and that was Garth Brooks' biggest pop hit.
That's insane.
I know. It's which makes me even question our choices. I'm like, well,
how is that possible?
So let's just keep that in mind, though.
Clearly it paid off then.
But but everybody with Chris Gaines thing, even just the album version of that, because it was they made this behind the music. I don't know if you researched that, or it was this was all in prep of a movie he wanted to put out, right? And the movie was all supposed to be on the heels of they did a behind the music to promote it, and they put out this album which is technically a best of Chris Gaines that tells Chris Gaines' whole life story, but so many people were just confused by it. They said that they're just he's just lost his mind. They just figured that Garth Brooks had lost his mind, but it was But I mean, it was kind of the same shit, like, because pop country's so, like, pop. It really was just Garth Brooks without the pedal steel or any kind of twang.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know?
Like, when you listen to it, like, there's nothing special
and it's definitely
it.
not as badass rock as, like, it comes out blazing with the special. But, yeah, I'll get back to you on the actual VH1 part where they just launch into this fucking dude's life story, which is seamless, like, and awesome in the way that it is, like, every behind the music on VH1, where it's like, Chris Gaines started out in
1986. Chris Gaines met Tom, whatever his name was.
Yeah, I'll let you rant. Sorry.
yeah, and it's just you're right. And it's just like it's so fucking weird. So in 1999, Garth Brooks thought, "This is what I need. This is my next album. This is what I need to do. I need to be another persona where I do rock songs." That are not really good songs. That are not really good rock. They're not country. Like, okay, what else? Like, what else was going on, like, musically in 1999 that would fit the bill of rock and roll?
Yeah.
You know, it's not this.
Yeah.
Like, you clearly don't know. You don't have your finger on the pulse.
It was. Yeah, but it was like not Britpoppy, post grunge, pre 2000s rock by any means. I mean,
it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just sort of like it's Garth Brooks music. Like it doesn't make, and it's Garth Brooks singing it, so that part makes sense. But it's like I don't understand what the point was of the.
It really, I felt like it just boiled down to him being too big of a pussy to put out like just a not country pop record. Like now, you know, like Taylor Swift would just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm putting out a pop record, and like nobody cared, you know, because it's like her country shit isn't that country anyway.
Right.
And it's like, and that's what he should have done. A lot of people were saying that about this, where it's like the songs actually did well, the album sold all right as far as the standards of that. But like if he just put out a Garth Brooks album and just said, yeah, it's not that country.
It sounds a little different.
You don't need to make up this whole character and this fucking backstory of this guy and this movie. I mean, he really just tried to go all Purple Rain with it or something, and like, what a backfire. But yeah, I mean, what did you think about the journalist and everybody involved in this whole thing?
It's
and,
weird. Like they've got like Billy Joel's in it.
Yeah, there was like Don Was. Like people are just like really selling it. Like I mean,
and they're just, and I mean, like, why not? Because if you're one of those people, you've probably been asked to be in a VH1 special and sit in black and white film and be like, yeah, when something was happening, such and whatever, and pretending you give a shit when you don't. So why not do it about a fake person?
Fake dude.
Yeah. But it's just amazing to me that like Garth Brooks was big enough that other people were not only on board with it, but like then like tertiary people now become like, well, we got to talk to Billy Joel's people, right. You know, we got to talk to.
I felt like they must have just owed him a favor or something. That like seemed like the most like, well, he did fucking save me from choking on my vomit that night back in. You know, like it all just reeked of like, well, Garth did do a lot. He's a dipshit.
And then it's like the performances are bad, but I think like maybe some people maybe thought it was a joke. Like, it was not supposed to be like a serious thing.
It would have been great if they had done it like a Spinal Tap thing where it was like funnier. I mean, it was fucking hilarious, but like I don't. There's no way.
But it's hard for it to be as funny as it could be if you're sitting there and it seems like it's supposed to be serious. I found myself just sitting there going, what is this supposed to be? Right. Like I think I sent you an email about it, and I was just like, what the hell is this? I don't know if I'm supposed to think it's funny. I don't know if I'm supposed to think it's serious music. I don't know.
There's no way to trick people at that point. So it was like whatever. If they had any like hints of like it being serious and you're gonna get into this fake life of this guy, like you can't, because you know it's Garth Brooks.
Yeah,
you can't.
And like every scene, and like it is like a good sort of send up of the VH1 specials because it is shot exactly the same. It does sound like, and it's always like every Chris Gaines shot is just him. It's either the other actor, a picture of the other actor
pre-car crash,
or him, and he's like he won't look at the camera, and he's just kind of staring into space in front of him, and he's talking kind of quiet, and then. Who is Chris Gaines? You know, it's like, what was his performance supposed to be? It's not funny. It's not interesting. It's just weird.
He was going for the fucking Oscar on that. Like, he was just, like, selling it too hard, I felt like. Like, every shot, he was just like, and that's when it all... Like, there's, like, you could drive a truck through every, like, pause and, like, he's just, like, whispering. And he's got this soul patch and this bad wig. He looks like a Ben Stiller character.
Yeah,
like,
and he's like...
he's got the eyeshadow
at the very least, in his late 30s
yeah,
at this point.
yeah, he's got to be, like, old and shit.
So
fat. He's, like, apparently getting in a car crash next to you just to be a fat dork.
A fat old idiot? Yeah.
It's like the kid's like this, like, good-looking young dude. He's like, and then I got in a car crash.
And it just changed my face.
It just completely kind of made me into a fat dork.
And it's like he's supposed to be Australian, I guess?
Yeah. Oh, that's one of the things I jotted down. Was like, it was just a lie that was, like, way too over-elaborate. I thought, like, we don't need to fucking know, like, my parents were Australian. Then we moved to LA at a young age. That's why I don't have an accent. I tried that, but it didn't work. It's like, why even throw that in?
Because it's the texture. It makes it real.
Yeah, I guess. But Jesus, it was like... And then it was just like every fucking rock and roll cliche was like... You crammed like that many cliches. Like, I found that. It was like literally... Fucking the over-controlling label that he had trouble with.
The bad manager.
Yeah, and the bad manager. The fucking plane crash, which killed his friend initially. The exhausting tour, where they just had so much sex and drugs. The mad dad that dies, and the unapproving dad. And his car crash, which is even a cliche in itself, because it's like his life-defining moment where he changed and grew up, and then just the whole sex addict thing. It's like, oh man, the balls
I just would walk into sometimes, and there'd just be 15, 12, 80
chicks.
women.
Yeah, what was the quote I wrote down?
I didn't even know what I was looking at.
It's like, and somebody else wrote down, I was like, oh fuck, where is it? It was so good. It was babes at home, babes on the road, babes in bars, babes at shows. Chris Gaines had no problem getting babes. It's like the fucking balls on Garth Brooks, like this fat dork country singer. It's like, I'm gonna invent this character and he's gonna have so much sex. He's gonna be just fucking shit left and right, man. He just does it so much. He needs to go to therapy for fucking. It's like, can he just be like an awesome guitar player? No, he's fucking everything.
Maybe he should just be a good song. Nope.
No. Can he just use a distortion pedal? No, he's fucking everything. It's like, come on, man. Fat dork.
Oh my god, it's incredibly bad. Oh god. And it's like, there's these scenes where he's got this big, long sort of jacket that makes him look inflated
at
on.
the end when he's rocking out. Yeah,
he's like got his microphone stand up in the air and he's singing. And it's supposed to be rock, and you're like,
yeah. How awkward it would be if his wig fell off in the middle of that. Like, the audience is like, ooh. It's like, cut.
I was like, what was the end game? Like, was it just, we're going to put up this album, we're going to make the movie, that's going to be really successful, the album will support the movie will support the album, and that'll be it? I mean, maybe that would make sense. Or was there going to be another Chris Gaines album? Like,
doing that forever?
Was it just like the same sort of hubris that creates Star Turtle, where you're like, I can do anything?
Yeah, I think so, man.
People are buying this shit.
Fucking crazy at a certain point when like everything works, and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna make an album where I talk to a turtle. I'm gonna make an album where I'm a complete different person.
I'm a whole other person than Chris Gaines.
Oh shit, I love that guy. I could talk about that all night. Sorry.
And I assign to you.
Yes, let's move on to the motion picture that was involved in this debacle of an episode. Bewitched, 2005. Wow, that was I kind of hesitated. I held off. I think I watched that finally like 2 nights ago. I was just like, this is gonna hurt so bad, and like,
it's terrible.
And it was just a straight up bad movie. It was weird because it had like so many pulls from the old classic TV show. But it was weird in the sense because I watched the show a lot, but just kind of like on sick days and syndication. I was never a huge fan. I always thought she was gorgeous and just a cool show and fun things. But I never really had any direct attachment to the characters and the names. So that I think that might be where our total hatreds don't line up. I think you have maybe a deeper attachment to the original, maybe, that made it even worse. But I felt like it was just a terrible, like, it wasn't even like bad in like a SNL movie kind of way, but it was just like fucking dumb idea that didn't go anywhere. The over elaborate, like, I don't know, it was like they just tried too much almost, and then like they had like no fucking storyline, and it was so predictable. I went out of the room, like my kid was literally vomiting all night through that, and he was like just waking up and puking into a bowl we put next to the bed, and I'd come back and go, oh yeah, and I'd empty the. That did happen. And then it was exactly as I thought it would be, and then I thought it was a great metaphor. I was gonna pause it, but I was like, it's actually a good metaphor that like somebody's vomiting through this whole movie. Kind of how I feel, but yeah, it was weird. There were some surprises in it where I felt like Nicole Kidman was bad and she was using a really weird voice, which I don't know if that was supposed to be some kind of like touch to the old show, but like, I think so. And it came and went too. Like she started out really. It was like this really whispery, weird voice that she was using initially, and then it kind of went away. But I mean, ultimately, she was, decent enough, I guess. It was, I don't want to sound like compassionate.
She's Elizabeth Montgomery.
No, yes. I mean, there's definitely, you're not going to win that battle from the get-go. And then she still looked attractive enough for like, Nicole Kidman. I don't want to sound like a dick because she looks weird now, but I mean, her face doesn't change expressions now. I don't know what the hell has happened to her. Like, I think she was like one of the most beautiful, actresses for a long time, but like, yeah.
She was in a great movie called BMX Bandits.
Yeah, and Dead Calm and all those. Yeah. Like, she's a beautiful, cool lady, so I'm kind of on board with her for the most part, but like, and yeah, so she was still at least pleasant enough to look through this debacle of a movie, but like just seeing her try to do something that was like a weird knockoff, and then like so openly, like, well, if you haven't seen the movie, they're trying to like, they put the spin on it being that it's a movie about rebooting it as a show anyway.
Yes.
And that was almost clever. I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's kind of a good idea. Like, because it's a different approach, almost like the Brady Bunch remake movie, where they kind of make it like a different weird twist in a sense, but like they make it goofy on purpose. But like, I don't know, like Will Ferrell's like total classic hit or miss Will Ferrell, where like sometimes he's awesome and sometimes just like, what the fuck is he doing? And this is definitely a what the fuck are you doing? This is
no everything must go. This is more bad. Land of the Lost. Yeah.
And I felt like it just reeked of, and it was funny because after like finally like weeding through some dumbass like IMDb facts or something, somebody else did reference it, but I thought like even just watching it, like it just reeked of like Jim Carrey turned this down, and they got like him, because it seemed like everything was just like what the hell, like over exaggerated like movements, and like even when she's messing with him with spells and stuff, everything's just like which is, I mean, the show was pretty goofy from what I remember. So I mean, it's kind of like
not a smart show, but
not,
I just like, to me, like the most damning thing you could say about it is it looks like it would be clips of a fake show that you saw in the background, like in another Will Ferrell movie that was much better. Like Will Ferrell's playing an actor who is chronically depressed and alcoholic, and he's stuck in this horrible show. And you're seeing clips of it throughout the movie or something. Like it's that bad. Like it seems just fake.
Well, they kind of hint at that even in it was almost, even if you trace it back on because it's a show and a show kind of thing. It's like it almost came to the point where it was like kind of insulting to the original show in the sense that they're like, this is dumb, it'll never work. But it's like you're basically like shitting on the idea of like the show by doing this, and then just making a movie about the idea of this being stupid and it wouldn't work. And it was like, well, that's what this is. This is a dumb reboot of the thing that's not going to work, And it was just, they just got a little overly clever. And like, I thought it was weird that it was Nora Ephron like wrote and directed it, which is, it's fairly creditable. She like tons of books at the bookstore and stuff.
Seriously terrible.
Yeah, I personally can't vouch for her. I think she died fairly recently, so we shouldn't Totally passionate. She went like, or maybe
She's a
directed.
wonderful lady.
Yeah, directed Sleepless in Seattle, I think, or
Which
wrote
is not
it.
a terrible movie.
Yeah, not so bad. And that Julia Child one even was not her best work.
It's really terrible.
It was really bad.
Like everything from the casting to like just the sort of balance it struck.
But with the casting that you said, that I wanted to get your opinion on that. It's so weird. There was so many. Maybe in hindsight, like famous people. I'm trying to think in 2005 if these people had really taken up. But it was like the cast had like Colbert in it, and like Jason Schwartzman was his assistant, and like Colbert was just like one of the writers on this show, and like Stephen Carell played like Paul Lynde that drove him at the end. It was like all these fucking people. And
Whoa! Who played?
Shirley MacLaine was like the bitch
mom,
whatever. Yeah, the mom, and like
Agatha maybe.
And let's see, R. Redwoods. I don't know who that is. Why did I write that down? I wrote all these like list of famous people.
That was Gavin's.
R. Redwoods.
Was when Gavin.
Oh, Randy of the Redwoods. That's who it is. The fucking MTV commercials. Do you remember? He was the dude with Colbert. He was like the TV assistant guy, like the producers, I guess. Remember the Randy of the Redwoods? He had like it was like an MTV commercials in like the early days, I guess, late 80s maybe.
Really?
Nice. He's like, hey, Randy, vote for Randy of the Redwoods.
Yes! Whoa!
That had to have been him. I might need to fact check that. But
I mean, he's been busy.
I'm just proud that I fucking recovered in my drunk brain of who the hell I was like,
R. Redwood.
Robert
Red.
Woods. So she had Gone with the Wind. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was a great cast, but yeah, totally misused. Nobody, like, more just that there were all these talented people and, like, nothing was funny or...
Like, how hard is it? Yeah, I mean, like, you're basically just making a dumb comedy. Just make a dumb comedy. Like, oh, God.
How did you feel then? I think, obviously, being that you're a fan of the old show, then, like, what was the biggest insult to the old show? Like,
I think you would have been better served to just straightforward take that situation comedy and make a situation comedy. Like, like maybe you tweak the situation a little bit, or the dynamics a little more updated because it's not the 60s or whatever. Yeah. But like, there's no need to have like a movie within a movie and like commenting on itself, and sort of like, it's not a witty premise, you know, and it is like a classic sitcom, which is to say, we have a situation that we think we can make some jokes about. It's gonna spin from there, you know. Just make the movie.
Yeah, you know? Totally.
And it still probably wouldn't have been great.
Because there's so many avenues that didn't even, like Michael Caine, like again, like a huge actor, like all these people probably just totally willing to be a part of this because they like the show, you know, like pay their respects kind of deal, you know. But yeah, I mean, like his whole like subplot of like hooking up with the mom on the show, Shirley MacLaine's character, or even just him in general. Like, he was so worthless. He's like, "What? You want to stop being a witch and be a normal actress?" Was like the premise, I guess. You know,
it's just bizarre.
Yeah, it just was so like, just exhaustingly dumb, and you knew that they were just gonna like have their downtime and then get where they do fall in love.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and it was just like so predictable and
like all this stuff that was funny in the original show it just comes out of, she has one specific weird thing about her that is remarkable and causes some fantastic things to happen, and everything else is just like, they could be the Cleavers, they could be the Ricardos, right. You know, it's like a very straightforward sort of family, and it's this what's happening because of the zany in-laws and all that stuff. You know, it could be the Flintstones.
Yeah, totally. Did you feel like Nicole Kidman did an alright job though? I mean, or was it just?
I just remember thinking, that's no Elizabeth Montgomery. You suck. Yeah.
So, it's just never gonna win.
Like, I didn't have like high expectations going into it, but I remember Shannon, my wife, really wanted to go, so we went. At the time, we lived in Cullowhee, which is about 45 minutes away from the closest theater that had it. So we drove all the way to Cullowhee, or from Cullowhee to Asheville, and we saw it, and we got there just in time to see the movie. and there was a pack of like teenage girls or preteen girls there who were just like talking through the whole thing and made it even harder to like focus on what's happening. I had like several sort of silent meltdowns and panic attacks and temper tantrums in there. I tried to fall asleep and couldn't because the girls kept talking. The movie was awful. My wife, I mean, you know, pretty much anything, she'll just be like, it's not that bad. And you just want to be like, it's not that fucking good. That's why we're having the conversation.
Why we're paying money to see this.
Yeah. And then we finally get out of it, and as soon as we step outside, it starts to rain. And it was raining so fucking hard. You literally, in the time it took the wipers to move back across the window, you couldn't see again. Wow. Like, you were just fucked. Like, so we're driving home in a monsoon, and I just remember turning to my wife and saying, if we fucking die because of that movie, I will never forgive you.
So a lot of personal baggage going in there.
Oh, God. Yes. Damn. I really hated
How excited were you going? Yeah, for a long time?
For a long time after that, yeah.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan, and still never, like, would see anything just because of him.
He's very up and down.
Yeah, that's weird. And
he's ruined several shows, like Land of the Lost, terrible movie. Yeah, Danny McBride and he were in it, and they're both funny guys when they're funny. Yeah. And, you know, both are just, like, horrible sort of, like, I just, like, sometimes there's no being clever, there's, like, no sort of, like, upping the ante, there's no commenting on the source material, just make it.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I never made that connection that he's a lot like Jim Carrey in the sense that, like, there was a lot of those things where, like, that whole, like, gag reel thing, you know, like, oh, this is just Will cutting loose thing, you know, and, like, they always, like, fucking tack that on the end of, like, Jim Carrey movies.
Oh,
it's like, and then we just let the cameras roll and let fucking Jim Carrey.
I'm talking out of my butt.
Yeah, there was like so many like parts of this movie in particular where Will Ferrell was doing it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess he does kind of do that a lot too. And it's like one of those people that like the director's just like, Will's just so classic.
He's just rolling around.
Let's just let Will just cut loose for 15 minutes and we'll put it on the DVD.
It's gonna be comedy gold.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, it's not. It's fucking stupid. If he has a good story to work with, then he's good, you know. Yeah. And if he has something to like work on, you know, then all the power to him. So I don't know. I don't really have anything against him, but at the same time, I would never see a movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just because he's in it.
No, and he's been in some movies that really are really good.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's not.
So being like a at least sort of fan, probably more than sort of fan of the original show, right? Like,
like, I watched it a lot as a kid.
Yeah, he seemed to have a pretty good attachment to it. Was it something you were kind of like when you were driving to this theater on that fateful night? Were you kind of like, this might be awesome?
If I'm honest, I think I thought, yeah, this is probably a bad idea. They probably are not going to make a good Bewitched movie out of it. And even at that sort of early date, it was apparent, you know, a decade ago, 12 years ago, you know, Will Ferrell will do some crap. I mean, you know, like at that point, he hadn't even, I don't even think
cat was out of the bag.
Yeah, and I don't even think he'd even done some of his best stuff. Like some of his best stuff is sort of like little cameo appearances in like Wedding Crashers or dramatic stuff.
Yeah, he is really better in small doses, I think.
Yeah, like when he has sort of a very specific sort of track to ride on. He's hilarious, you know, he's a funny guy. And I just remember thinking, it's probably not going to be very good. And it wasn't, so
there you go.
I'm sure somebody out there is like, I love that
movie. I could do past that movie. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say I had much more positive things. Her voice just bugged me. And, Jack Wyatt was his name in the. And like it literally took me the first 15 minutes of the movie going like, what the fuck do they keep talking about Jack White for? Like, I thought they were trying to make some joke about Jack White. Like, because there's all, like, movie biz talk, and like, maybe because I was running back and forth, like, with vomit bowls, and I was just like, what the fuck is, like...
Jack White?
No, like, but with Jack White, because they kept kind of, like, referring to him in the third person kind of thing, you know, like, well, would Jack White really take this role? And like Jack White.
You're like, no.
White Stripes?
Yeah, no, he would not.
I was like looking at the date and I was like 93, what the 2005? What the fuck? It's like, yeah, so that was kind of my fault for being stupid, but it was funny nonetheless. So yeah, I give it a big giant thumbs down too, and that was torturous, so well played, my friend. So maybe we should wrap up this episode of Hatred with our beers.
Ooh.
I haven't tapped into the Steel Reserve yet, but I think I got a good idea. I've had one in the past, so I think we can.
I think everybody's had one, yeah.
We'll let that be a precursor.
Tall boy of Steel Reserve.
So, let's disclose what we have here exactly and what we've been
Would you like to go first, or shall I?
You go ahead, go first. All
right, from Gavin Connor, had a New Belgium Cherry Almond Ale, a Sierra Nevada Autrevez Cactus and Lime.
Premium beer.
Yeah, it's some sort of beer. Ale, Pilsner, Floopity Flop.
Goose style.
Oh, it's a goose, or perhaps, as the Germans would say, Goss. And
it's a 1-0 goose.
A limited release Aloha Traveler Pineapple Shandy from the fine folks at whatever brewery that came from.
The Traveler. Is that a brewery?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh.
So,
it's Traveler. Meant to drink while you're running across state lines.
Yes, and a Rolling Rock, but that was really just because he was being nice.
A little top off, yeah. And there's plenty of more of those if you want them.
Well,
or maybe not. I don't know what the supplies. But yeah, well, what do you think, man? I felt like there was some premium fucking beers.
Oh,
in
there was some.
New Belgium is no.
The new of the Bad Batch, the New Belgium was the best in that it was. It was a sort of bad, like, it was just disappointing. Like, it promises a lot.
How do you feel about cherries in general?
I don't dislike cherries.
How do you feel about almonds?
I like almonds a lot.
Yeah.
There you go. So, I mean, like...
Throw them in a beer?
It promises a lot when it's like a cherry almond ale. Number one, that sounds gimmicky, so I'm already kind of against it before I go into it. And then it's probably not going to pay off, and it doesn't. And if it does, it will probably be in like a weird perfumey sort of fake-like way, so you're not going to enjoy it. Like, you're going to feel like you're drinking something that, like was made by the Victoria's Secret, or Yankee Candle Shop, beer company. So
like one of those weird Sunday mornings when you're licking the Victoria's Secret catalog.
We've all been there, guys and gals.
The ink comes off on your tongue. And
you're just like
weird buzz.
Yeah. So it doesn't pay off on its name. It's not offensive, but it's not particularly good. It's the sort of like
coming from an established brewery such as New Belgium.
Yeah, and they've got other beers that are really good. This is not one of them. It's just one of those, like, you get 3 or 4 into that 12-pack, and you're probably gonna be like, it's fine. Yeah. Like, it's not the kind of.
So is it a one-off beer? You think, like, if you had just had like one,
you'd just be like, you'd be disappointed because it does not. Like, I would really like it to be somehow like almondy, not like a cookie almondy, but almondy with just like a little fruitiness or something. And it skips out, it misses out on being either of those things. It also is not the other extreme where it's sort of like fake perfumey horribleness. So, if you bought 12 of them thinking they're going to be great and they were disappointing, 3 in, you're not going to give a shit anymore anyway. And it's not horrible. It's not the kind of bad where you're like, fuck, I got 9 more of these.
This is going to be here all year. So you could forge through it if you had
the Autrevez.
And that's another weird one because it's a popular beer. But I feel like we like to preface this one, like we had in-laws in, and I was just like, what is it?
Gavin and I do not share in-laws.
Together. It was like a Sierra Nevada beer, and it seemed refreshing.
It's usually like a safe choice.
Yeah, and I think it was on sale. We had like a 12-pack. We all had like the first like 2 or so. We're like, we're like, and then like nobody wanted to say it even. We're just like, this fucking tastes gross, man. What is this? Like, we're just trying to, like, get our beer on, hanging out with family and stuff. And we're like, this is fucking weird. And then, like, we're just like, yeah, well, you know, it wasn't, like, disgusting enough to, like, throw the whole thing out. But then, like, we're just, like, bought other beers throughout the week. And as those beers would always go away, there would be, like, the 3 Ultra Vezes or whatever the fuck this is. Or just, like, lingers. It was always like that, like, you know, 1 in the morning.
It's like,
beer.
it's like,
hey,
buddy, I'm a beer.
I'm like, all right, I'll drink it.
Beer
No way could it be that. And, like, every time I was like...
Yeah, it's like weirdly sour,
yeah,
and not in like a good way. It's not like it's not citrusy. It's just sour.
Yeah, and it's weird. And I remember reading the description. It's like temperatures often top triple digits. Perfecting the warm weather beer is a priority. We happened upon a sweet, tangy blend of a native-grown prickly pear cactus and grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I would love to drink a cactus.
Yeah.
It's like, and then we're like, that's it. They fucking nailed it. That tastes exactly like a liquefied cactus.
It's delicious.
So, I don't know. People love the beer. Apparently, you can buy cans, bottles everywhere. And,
I don't think it is 100% hateable. Mm-hmm. In that, like, if I did get down to it, it's 1 a.m. and I really want to have another beer because we're still up. I would drink it, but you do go.
We did drink the full 12 pack.
Yeah, like it's a sour, an unpleasant sort of soured beer flavor. Yeah. And then the last one, the Aloha Traveler Pineapple Shandy, is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I should probably know, like, shandy in general. What makes up a signature shandy?
Should we give it?
Let's give it a little Google one.
Let's check it out.
I feel like it's like a mix of something like.
Let's see.
But anyway, just the label itself doesn't help. It's a fucking
it looks like
pineapple with like a giant mustache. It says "Aloha Traveler" and has a pineapple shandy under it and limited release.
Oh, thank God.
So.
Oh, well, there you go. Shandy, beer mixed with a non-alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for fucking up a not that good beer. It is like...
What was it mixed with? I can't see this lighting. But...
It is one of the few beers, like, I took a sip.
Oh, pineapple, I guess.
Yeah. I took a sip of it, and my first reaction was to go... like, not like vomiting, but just like, you feel like you just drank something you shouldn't be drinking. Yeah. Like, you know, like... It is all the worst parts of a cheap beer and all the worst parts of a mass-produced, like mixed drink powder flavor Kool-Aid-y. It's bad. It's bad.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of enjoy that I drank it because it's bad.
Now you know. Every time you look at that pineapple with that fucking wacky mustache, you're like,
God.
What would you be like inside me? Now you know.
Yeah. I'd like to put everybody who is responsible for that beer's existence into a room and then skip a few bottles of that off their heads.
Or make them drink it.
Oh, God.
Like, no!
Like, somebody drank that and they're like,
They're like, let's do it. Let's make them.
Good.
Like, everyone's like, this is the best it's gonna get, boys.
This is a true shandy.
Like a dude with like a lab coat on, and like another guy's like, I just can't make it taste any better, boss. And
like I will sometimes at a drunk brunch make a man mosa, a PBR and orange juice. Yeah. So I can't really be critical.
Yeah, I've poured PBR into some weird shit.
But at the same time, like, just drink the beer.
Yeah.
Like, who invented the shandy? Who was like, it's just too much for me. I'm gonna mix it with this sparkling cider Kool-Aid.
And then bottled. I mean, it should just be like some weird shit that somebody makes you at a bar, like at somebody's house. It shouldn't be like bottled and sold. It's like it just seems a little too like at that point.
And the pineapple's not the right shape on the label. It's like they never really seen a pineapple. It looks like a carbuncle with a mustache.
I'd say come up with a better label. You might stand a bit
hate it.
Better.
And then the name of the beer company is bigger than anything else on it. Of course, you could say the same for a Budweiser. Yeah. But the beer is also called Budweiser.
Yeah. So that goes a long way.
Yeah. Anyway,
shit.
And then Rolling Rock was its own dependable Waters of Old Latrobe self. So,
what did you think? Do you have any Rolling Rock feelings going into this? Because I kind of threw that as
I used to know
somewhat subtle joke, is that like I love Rolling Rock and I've always drank it since the '90s, and everyone always made fun of me as drinking the shittiest beer. And
the first keg I ever went in on for a keg party at a house I lived at was a keg of Rolling Rock.
Nice.
So I have pleasant memories of Rolling Rock.
Good.
The Waters of Old Latrobe.
I feel like it's a very underrated, good, cheap beer.
Yeah, and I like the green bottle.
Yeah, green bottle. It foams up if you get a little too excited.
It's got a pony on it.
I feel like that's a good marker of like rowdiness. You know, like you'd rock out. We used to see bands at the old Black Cat and 930 Club in DC in the '90s, and people would rock out and we're like, fucking Rolling Rock is what they're drinking. We later would learn that was just the free beer that they were giving the bands. But we thought that meant that they were cool and they were choosing Rolling Rock. But like, and then they'd rock out on stage, and like the beer, it's a really foamy beer. Like if you just jump around it a lot, it's like the goo in Ghostbusters 2. Or if you give it positive energy, it'll like foam up and shit. But so yeah, we always thought that was something special, and it kind of tastes a little marshmallowy, but I love it.
It is
Makes
unusually
me feel young again.
It is unusually sweet for a sort of mass produced
trash beer.
Yeah, it's kind of a beer, but I don't dislike it at all.
Cool.
So
I'm glad you at least got to top it off with a decent beer. My beer choices. Let's see. Let's start at the back end. Whew, Tartastic, another new Belgian one, which is weird. Big company, great beers. Just moved here to Asheville, have a big facility that is wonderful.
Top notch.
But beautiful. Goddamn, this is the worst beer I've ever had.
Worst. It's terrible. It makes
Tartastic.
The cherry almond ale is a delight in comparison.
Not only is the name totally ridiculous and awful, it just sounds stupid and bad.
Yeah.
But super lemony. I mean, that's what it's all about. Lemon ginger sour beer. Like one thing that you never would want in your beer probably, but it really tastes like that. It tastes like if you took a High Life and you dropped a lemon heads candy into it at best, like it's
kind of a shandy, really.
Yeah, it is like a pour, like not even having a good lemon juice. You just dropped a candy in there, or like maybe some dish soap. I wouldn't have been surprised if I burped a bubble when that came up. But yeah, fucking terrible. Like it took a long time to get through that bottle. It was like alright to sip because it was like refreshing at least, and like
I hated it. That's like the far end of the spectrum where it's so bad.
It's bad.
Like you bought 6 of them. Because like me, you were somehow sucked in, and you thought, "Oh, that's going to be good."
Lemony tea.
New Belgium makes the Citradelic, which is a really good beer, and I thought, "Oh, maybe it's like a riff on that." No, it just sucks.
No.
And like then you're like, "I've got 9 more of these fucking things."
I could see this being like a 12-pack that would sit in your fucking fridge for a long time.
I gave a bunch of them to Ian and Jason because I happened to bring them over to their house. I just left a bunch there. They're like, "Oh, you left your beer?" I was like, "Oh, sorry,
no, it's cool.
I gotta go."
Little parting gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just terrible. It's a terrible beer, start to finish. It's like the one positive thing I had to say about was that it has literally no aftertaste. It's weird.
It really doesn't.
Off,
yeah, it just
which
stops.
is normally a bad thing because you're like, where'd the flavor go?
That's almost like I didn't drink.
Yeah. But in this case, it's like great because it's like,
and if I remember correctly, I have to move my glasses to see small print anymore, but
oh my goodness,
it's 4.5% alcohol, which is almost like not drinking a beer.
Can't get drunk, and it tastes like shit.
Yeah,
so it just makes you fat.
That's
awesome.
Right. Awesome. It was unpleasant, and I'm heavier.
All the calories without the buzz and the flavors.
Yeah. Thanks, New Belgium.
And then moving on, we went to this imported beer.
That's right.
From Deutschland.
The land of Germany.
As they say.
The land of world wars, they call it.
Which I'm a little confused by. I should have studied the label a little closer. It says brewed and bottled by in Munich, Germany. So it's got to be a German beer. But then, like, on the back it said
Hoboken, New Jersey.
Imported by So maybe just brought in by, but St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, I guess it is straight up German beer. I kind of feel like it had to have been like the Heineken of German beers, though, or something, where it's like, it's got that German beer taste for sure, which I'm not a big fan of, like, wheat beers, so that does add to the shitty, like, my personal not taste, but it does just kind of taste like one of those crappy, like, ugh, but it's the Französisch. As we
took German. Did you mention?
As we mentioned in the Hasselhoff, I took German, and I failed German, actually. I ended up taking Spanish. I took German, and I passed 8th grade German because my dad helped me. He knew German. I got by 9th grade German barely, but then by 10th grade I literally cheated the whole time, and I got an award for most improved, and I cheated because Scott Loudon's sister hooked us up with tests that they reused in her class.
Oh my!
She was too busy telling us about how awesome Hasselhoff was. I'm like, really? And I cheated my whole fucking way through. Oh, and then the final was it came down to the final test. Is like, if you pass this, you'll pass the year. But there's probably no way you're going to pass this. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to pass this. And it turned out Aztec Camera was playing at the old 930 Club. Fuck no, I'm not going to study that night. I went to go see Aztec Camera, and I failed the shit out of it and had to take Spanish for the next 6 years of my life. So anyway, Französischer Connor. Everything with German is just like confidence. You just gotta, I'll do it again. It's Französischer Connor. Weissenbier.
It's so good. Inappropriate German laughter.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's the one I'll put a picture on the website.
It's got the bald dude on it.
Yeah, fucking monk. There's always some goddamn
fucking
monk
eating goddamn ball of cheese or some shit.
Yeah, it tastes like shit. It's awful. I don't think I was quite as offended by you. You said you had
my good pal Sylvia and I, we went and saw Dawn of the Dead remake with Ving Rhames, which is an excellent movie in my opinion. And for whatever reason, we were like, let's go back to the house and get some beers. And
you bought the giant German.
We got the big giant German Französische Weissbier. Weissbier.
Yeah, I guess there's no Weizen. Should be.
It should. Idiots. Fucking know their own language. And we were like, yeah, it looks good. Let's get that. And we both took sips of it, and it was so bad that we just threw it out. Like, and I have always wondered since, I've never had the guts to get another one, and I've always wondered since then, was it just like a skunked six-pack of beer?
To me, because it tastes like a shitty wheat beer.
Like if you
I'm
asked,
not a big fan of that.
If you asked Sylvia, okay, we're gonna go to the grocery store, go find the trash juice beer, she would bring you this because we decided it tasted like trash juice or like the funk that will be in the bottom of the crisper drawer in your refrigerator. Like it was that bad.
I go, woo, what? All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. If you're noticing any slight differences in the change here at the end, we just switched to a whole different system. But we only have 2 beers to recap, so why not just lump it in with the worst of everything? So the other worst thing is recording technology.
Yes.
But also, we'll just say that moving on from the German beers, we got the Budweiser, a classic Budweiser beer.
I chose that because I more
get a classic Budweiser beer.
Budweiser than I do dislike it. Like I associate it with people whom I would rather not.
Yeah.
Be around. So generally speaking, it's the world's most popular beer.
Well, that'd be my biggest complaint is that it throws me back to any stadium show and any like environment where I'm like, yeah, I'll have a beer.
Now you are good friends with folks in Australia, yes?
Yeah.
And is it true that in Australia it's like Budweiser's an import?
It's
a big deal.
They seem cool with it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's like on par, if not maybe even better than like PBR to them, like where they're just like, we had moments where they were like very cool with Budweiser. Plus, I think it's like kind of more Americanized and, like a cultural thing. The way if you're like drinking a Foster's over there, you'd probably be a complete tool. But if you're like, yeah, I'm drinking a fucking Foster's in Australia, man. This is. And they're just like, but
it's exotic.
But yeah, I mean, I guess Budweiser, there's a lot of, it's weird because it doesn't really, I guess it's still fairly cheap, but it's not really lumped in with like PBR and even Rolling Rock as far as the prices and stuff. I mean, it's like, it should be. It's definitely in that grain. But yeah, I'm drinking it out of this like collectible.
Oh, you won't be throwing that away, I'm sure.
Green can to go with St. Patrick's Day, I'm assuming, or the Greedo collection. I'm not sure what it's commemorating, but it's fucking beautiful. Taste. It's a good palate cleaner, Like,
yeah.
So after that nice German beer, I wash it down with this slender Budweiser to my Irish folk.
That's right. The ladies love a slender penis. I tell you what. Like a number 2 pencil of a penis.
Just kind of is there. And that brings us to our finale beer, and that is a Steel Reserve.
Worst headache in the world you will ever have.
Steel. You want that steel in your brain in the morning after you drink this. It's extra malted barley, a select hops for extra gravity.
For more gooder.
I think the last time I had one of these was it literally at like 4 a.m. when we like ran out of beer. Like, I'll drink that, and I must keep drinking for whatever reason. I need to put this horrible liquid into my body.
I gotta have it taste. I mean, I just remember the Steel Reserve just not even tasting good.
It's a little like
I think it's made with corn syrup and pumpkin butter.
Yeah, it's got that whole it tastes like it's got steel in it.
It's rusty.
It's not rusty. It's beer, but it's not good. But yeah, it's funny that there is like a bracket below PBR and Rolling Rock and Budweiser.
Get you drunk.
It's like
get you drunk real good.
It is even a little more drunk. But yeah, so mission accomplished, man. That was pretty brutal, but
there was a lot of bad worse.
I enjoyed the pain in a weird masochist kind of way.
I will say I don't know that there was any of the things, and maybe it's just because we've known each other for a long time. Like there was not really any of the things where you were like, "Oh no, I really liked your worst of."
Yeah.
And mostly agreement. You maybe hated Bewitched less than I did.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't quite as offended by it. But at the same time, do you think maybe Star Turtle was the most likable thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Star Turtle was the star of the show.
We did our job, right? If Star Turtle was the most likable thing, and that's something we've referenced in conversation before. So I don't know. I guess we did pretty good. Or if that was the most thing that we could cling to, then God bless us. And I hope you people enjoy out there hearing our horrible selections, and maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you're like, fuck you, Chris Gaines is the shit.
It's freaking incredible.
And I love goddamn Budweiser and Steel Reserve.
You son of a bitch. I'm drinking Steel Reserve and watching the VH1 special right now.
I was going to plan on watching Bewitched straight after this. But
that's right. And it's okay.
We're not saying any of it's wrong. We're just saying that in our preferences, that's completely the worst shit we've ever heard.
Not the goodest at all.
No. So thanks so much for bearing through this with us. We'll be back next time with stuff that we want to impress the other person with, maybe. Or
at least
we'll
not
see.
depress the other person with. And okay, guys.
Oh, real.
I'm going back.
Oh, Star Turtle, you back, man?
I just wanted to say thanks for the ride.
Oh, man, it's been so long. Been so long, man. Hey, have you heard my new talk show?
Do you have a show?
Yeah, man. I've been getting back into acting. I've been, like, working up my chops, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Harry.
Oh, Star Turtle, I miss you so... Hey, who's that over there? Is that Garth Brooks?
Hey, Garth. Are you Garth or Chris Gaines?
Actually... I'm Chris, and I had so much sex on the way over here.
Oh, that's my people invented intercourse.
No, man, that's awesome because sex is awesome. I just see beautiful. It's more like a respect of art. Like when you go to art museum and you look at art, it's like when I look at babes.
Well, Harry, who is this fucker?
I don't know, man. I think it's Chris Gaines. He's got a great soul patch, though, and I love soul music. Hey, is that Fat Boy Garth Brooks? Howdy ho, this is Garth Brooks. I'm here to also sing to you one of my new songs. I got a song that you can download free if you buy a bag of Fritos. Right now, my latest song is on there. And I just want to say that you guys should all download my new song. Harry, Turtle, Chris. I know Chris, me and you we go way back. I don't even know if I'm country or from New Orleans.
I don't know where the hell
but I know my face is round and I'm ready to crank out some hits.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, man.
I'm gonna go back to my planet, guys.
Hey. Oh man. I can't believe Star Turtle left without me having sex with. All right, man. Well, we'll see you later, Chris Gaines. See you later, Fat Boy Garth. Good luck on that rebound tour.
You too.
Thank you for listening.
Love your show.
Woo! Check it out on CBS. Already canceled. Woohoo! Party on, y'all suckers. Catch you next time.
Already canceled.
Be sure to subscribe to the Pretend Podcast on iTunes, where you can also rate and review it. Email Gavin and Craig at thepretendpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget about Instagram and, of course, the Facebook page, where you can find links to all these wonderfully horrible artifacts.